Welcome to the following presentation of the Adrenaline Sim Racing Association. Ladies and gentlemen, before we begin tonight's race, here's a quick message from Kevin Campbell.
All right, everybody. One of our own, Andrew Anderson, is shipping off to Coast Guard boot camp for the U.S. Coast Guard in just a couple of days. And just last night, at his going away party, I presented him with a diecast, 1/64 scale diecast of this exact paint scheme you're looking at right here. And this next clip is just his reaction. Take a look.
Okay, so we had Michelini make you something before you ship off.
Okay. What the? What the?
And this is being used on the ASRA broadcast.
Oh shit! Oh, dude! Holy shit!
Easy.
Oh my god, I'm drunk, so I actually might cry. Dude, it's so
So on behalf of the whole series, congrats to you,
oh
bud.
shit! Thank y'all. Oh my god.
Thank you, Kevin, for that special message. And of course, congratulations, Andrew. We look forward to seeing what you do with this career, and we're really excited for you. With that being said, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It is a beautiful day here in Austin, Texas. We're at Circuit of the Americas for our first and only road course stop of Season 1 of the ASRA NBC Cup Series, the Dr. Pepper Texas Grand Prix. I'm Jack Mitchell alongside Kevin Campbell and Felipe Henriquez. Gentlemen, first and only road course. It's going to be one on pit strategy, I think, is the thing that we've discussed pre-race for most of this. So how do we feel going into this one?
I agree completely, Jack, and I think we're in for a quite exciting start of the race for sure. We'll have to see how pit strategy ends up affecting it. We've got 20 laps here. It's a long track. I think we're in for a great show. How about you, Felipe?
You know, being that this is the only road course on the calendar for this season, it's going to be one of the rare instances where NASCAR drivers have to turn right. So I think that's going to make an interesting dynamic as far as track position and how the racers compose themselves out on the track.
Yeah, absolutely. It's there's going to be a lot of those battles mid-pack too as well. There's going to be some two wide racing. It's going to get crazy when they go up the hill, when they go through the S's too. They're going to be pretty long laps, but not very many. You see on the ticker only 20 laps in this race. So with that being said, before we jump into the starting lineup, let's go ahead and take a look at our points standings. Wyatt Dueling, the points leader, has a 5-point lead over Jack Mitchell, but Jack Mitchell lines up on the front row, so this will be a very interesting battle up at the top of the order here. Wes Hayes is in third, Felipe Henriquez is in fourth, Chase Parent fifth, followed by Bryce Mann, Alexander Schumacher, Thomas Johnson, Anthony Foss, Cole Wilton, rounding out the top 10. Then it's Blake Garcia, Connor Hudson, Blaze McKinney, today's pole sitter, Landon Mills, Eric Braxton, last week's winner, Hannes Narager, Henry Tabor, J Mack, and Ryan New, and Andrew Anderson. And then, of course, for the back 10, we got Nicholas Michelini, PJ Payne, Kevin Campbell, Reese Kupski, Shazan Rana, David Smith, Connor DaCosta, Ben Fior, Brody Kupski, and Roberto Crown Jr. It's been the struggle bus for that 21 team. How do you guys feel like that team gets out of it today?
Well, they've got a great starting position today. Starting off in fifth, they have a chance at being able to rescue their season, but they're going to need a great drive today.
Absolutely. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump in to take a look at our starting lineup. It is an all-adrenaline motorsports front row as Blaze McKinney and Jack Mitchell take the top two spots. Then it's Blake Garcia, David Smith, Roberto Crown Jr., Reese Kupski, Wyatt Dueling, Kevin Campbell, Eric Braxton, and PJ Payne to round out the top 10. Next up, Hannes Narager, Wes Hayes, Connor Hudson, Andrew Anderson, Felipe Henriquez, Anthony Foss, Connor DaCosta, Thomas Johnson, Bryce Mann, and Ryan New. And the last 10 on the grid, it's Landon Mills, Cole Wilton, Ben Fior, Alexander Schumacher, J Mack, Chase Parent, Shazan Rana, Nick Michelini, Brody Kupski, and Henry Tabor to round out the field. All right, not too long now until we get those engines fired, so let's go ahead and take it down to the driver of the 31 car, the man of the hour today. Andrew Anderson will give the command from his car to fire engines.
On behalf of all servicemen and servicewomen in the United States Coast Guard, drivers, start your engines.
Thank you, Andrew, for that command. Cars are off and rolling. As we'll go ahead and take a look at the front row of the field. Again, we mentioned it's an all-adrenaline motorsports front row. As Jack Mitchell and Blaze McKinney, the pole sitter, Jack Mitchell to his inside for right now in this corner. But of course, here at Circuit of the Americas, definitely going to be a very, very interesting one. Only road course of the season. Don't expect to see a whole lot of cautions in this one. Expect pit strategy to be the deciding factor in how they get this one done. Not going to take a full pace lap here either. So these guys are going to have to get going pretty quick. Any last words, gentlemen, before we get started?
All I can say is buckle in. We're in for a wild ride as these cars climb that hill to turn number 1. Felipe?
I'd say keep an eye on the 2 Mercedes cars on the track. We'll see how their suspension setups cope with the left and right turns of COTA, along with the rough-ish terrain on the curbs, as this is the F1 layout. But yeah, no, with that all being said, looks like they're getting close to the line, guys.
They are. A pace car will take that dive on the pit road in turn 20. This is a 20-turn road course, but not too long now, as Blaze McKinney is going to lead them down this long straightaway. You'll see the big hill climb they have to go through here as they get this lap started. It's going to be long laps here as they hit the restart zone, and the green flag is in the air. We are racing at Circuit of the Americas. Blaze McKinney with a good jump. Roberto Crown Jr. started this race in 5th place, and he's going to probably go to the inside. Maybe there was some contact there, but Jack Mitchell got a nice jump on the outside. I was mentioning the 21 car, Roberto Crown Jr. He needs a great start to this one, as he's had a very rough go of it in the point standings, like we mentioned earlier, but Jack Mitchell is going to jump out to the race lead for the time being. And he gets some good
Crown Jr.
separation
with
from his
a
teammate.
good start. Made it all the way up to the 3rd spot from 5th. We'll have to see if he's able to track down that 87 of Blaze McKinney and keep those other cars behind him off of his bumper, as they're still too wide for a lot of the pack.
Yeah, they are. There's definitely going to be some... we have a car in the grass. I was going to say there's going to be some tension in those S's as those cars run too wide. It's Blake Garcia who went in the grass there. You can see a lot of cars kind of spread out all over the place, but now they're kind of seemingly single file now, as we had some contact back there. I think it was the 57. There were some cars that were getting shoved out of line. Something was going on back here in mid-pack.
Yeah, we had a handful of cars extending the racetrack all the way into the grass, you could say.
And these drivers don't really tend to care about those track limits. They're going to do what they can. Track limits, of course, only apply in the S's, but other than that, you can basically run anywhere. As you get a look at Cole Wilton right now, 10th in points, 22 points behind the leader, Wyatt Dooling.
One thing I did want to note... Oh, my apologies.
Go ahead.
No, one thing I did want to note is that compared to the prior races, these drivers are driving a little bit more aggressive, you know? It looks like they're starting to get their feet on the ground. They're starting to, definitely push the limits of their cars.
Absolutely. They're going to be doing that a lot more at this road courses. I think we have a challenge for the lead. I saw Jack Mitchell getting pushed that by Roberto Crown Jr. Yeah, the 1 car fell way back. Not too sure what happened there, but he's fallen back to 3rd. Blaze McKinney retakes the race lead. As we head into lap 2, some battle for the lead early on here. Not too sure if maybe Mitchell got a bad corner or what happened. That 1 car was way out in front earlier in the lap, and now Blaze McKinney retakes the race lead, and Roberto Crown Jr. has sandwiched himself between teammates. These 3 drivers all driving Chevy Impalas, but Roberto Crown Jr. not the only one that's not with Adrenaline Motorsports. Now you can see the single file action that we mentioned here early on. This is why we think this race is going to be won on pit strategy, is these cars just kind of spread out. This will be a good opportunity as well this season so far to take a look at each driver individually. We'll have a through the field segment later on in this one.
One thing I did want to mention is that in those S's, if you're watching, you're noticing the cars there getting a little slidey. Now, that's definitely going to play into tire wear, and it's definitely going to play into pit strategy. So depending on how aggressive they drive, we may be seeing a couple of early pit stops here. What do you think, Jack?
Yeah, that little turn right there too. You mentioned tire wear. That turn tends to be one of the places where these cars tend to slide off the track a little bit and into that grass. So that's that turn right before they go down the hill and down that long straightaway section of this track. As looks like Roberto Crown Jr. may be making a move on Blaise McKinney, or at least thinking about it for the race lead. We'll see what he does in these next few turns. It all depends on who gets the better corner, who has the better entry into each corner. And you can see Jack Mitchell's gotten some good corners now. He's gaining on that 21 car. But it's still Blaise McKinney showing the way.
Coming in close to around the tower here at COTA. As looks like, yeah, Roberto Crown Jr. still has a good run. He might have the momentum coming onto the front straightaway and be able to get under Blaise McKinney as he dives for turn number 1 at the end of the front stretch.
More cars going off track there for a little bit, but yeah, this entry on a pit road is a little bit tricky too. You have to take a much sharper left-hand turn than the already sharp left turn in turn 20. That goes down the straightaway. Lap 3 of 20. Blaise McKinney from Roberto Crown Jr., Jack Mitchell, Blake Garcia, Dave Smith in fifth. David Smith in all the way back 26 in the points, so he definitely needs a solid finish in this one.
Say that 87 car has definitely got a clean line there, you know? If he keeps this up, he might be poising himself for a first place finish.
Yeah, the clean air advantage, definitely something that the front runner has is, you know, you can pick what lines you want to go into. You don't really have to worry about another car's line. You don't really have to you conform to what another driver's doing, at least when there's no lap traffic in the way. So Blaise McKinney can kind of just do his thing here, and as long as he doesn't make any mistakes, the 21 car may or may not gain time on him. I think it really depends on just each driver's individual actions here.
And lap time is still looking fast. Faster on lap 2 than on lap 1. We'll have to see how long it takes for these lap times to start falling off as these tires wear down.
Absolutely. That's why pit strategy is going to come into play here, is Roberto Crown Jr. thinking about it here. Does he go to the inside of Blaise McKinney on this corner? He does. Who gets the better runoff? It's going to be the 21. They're side by side for the race lead, but Jack Mitchell pushing his teammate as they head to the inside of this corner.
Is Mitchell going to try and make a move with these two tied up? Is the field starting to bunch in behind him?
Roberto Crown Jr. going to go to the race lead, and yeah, Jack Mitchell, he's going to make a move on his teammate for second. As Blaise McKinney goes off the track there for a little bit, but he gets the inside of the one car, the 87. Oh man, that one car ran way wide, but he's going to complete the pass. Again, that's legal. That's a legal move here in that part of the track, so move Jack Mitchell to second. Dave Smith thinking about it. Blaise McKinney getting now under fire from Blake Garcia. Nice little action here near the front of the field so far. Roberto Crown Jr. going to be scoring your new race leader.
I'm looking at that 82 car of Eric Braxton. He seems to be going at a good rate, trying to catch up to the. I'm trying to see the number there. What's this?
I believe that was the 46 of Reese Kupski that you're thinking of.
Yeah, Reese Kupski. Yeah, no, he seems like he's driving pretty good. He's got a good rate. He's definitely got some pressure from the 31 car behind him, giving him a little push between through the S's.
Right, which worth noting, Andrew Anderson started in 14th position. He's made up half the spots he needed to as he gets to Eric Braxton. Andrew, of course, we talked about him pre-race. This is kind of his send-off race. It's the last one he'll be able to watch live before the season's over, and he'll be back from boot camp.
It's a great run.
He get a good showing in.
Yeah, great run so far from that 31 car. Eric Braxton, though, he's got the camera on that 82 Mercedes AMG. He is currently last week's winner, so great run, great showing for that team at Rockingham last week. And that, of course, that was a big deal for that team because they were near the bottom of the point standings going into that race. Now they're currently seated in, I believe, 15th. Yes, 15th in points, 31 behind the race lead, but 15th is important because you got to be top 12 to make the chase at the end of the season. There's no win and you're in, as it looks like we've got a battle for the lead again. Jack Mitchell has caught up to Roberto Crown Jr. He's going to get the inside on this corner. And yeah, he's going to lead the 21 went way wide. He's going to lead the 21 in the dust. Jack Mitchell back to the race lead.
I think we might have already had more passes for the lead in 4 laps here than we had last week at Rockingham on an oval.
Interesting stuff here at COTA, as now Dave Smith is going to enter the conversation for a little bit here. Blaise McKinney will get to the
also
inside.
in a bad spot in the points. Smith currently 26th in the standings, trying to look for a good show today. He's doing well.
Cars are a little bit more spread out through this part of the track here, but we expect them to kind of tighten the gap as they continue. As Blake Garcia, he's not a guy that we've talked too much about this season so far. He's currently running, let's see where he is in the points.
He's 11th.
11th in the points, so that's actually pretty good to be in the 11th spot, but it's also pretty close to the edge of the chase standings as well, so you want to stay top 12 by the end of the season, but that Toyota Supra definitely running a pretty clean and consistent race so far.
I mean, that '07 car definitely had a good running back at the Daytona 500 a couple weeks back. He was definitely contending for the front line, as far as final positioning goes.
Yeah, he was very competitive at Daytona. He ran all right at Auto Club. He was towards the front, but no one had anything for Foss or Mitchell in race number 2 of the season. Last week was the Eric Braxton show. He showed out. Not that it wasn't contested, but he absolutely held on through a number of battles for the lead. As now we've got Jack Mitchell with about 1.4 second lead over the last place in points driver, Roberto Crown Jr.
Yeah, that gap opened up a little bit between those two Chevy Impalas, but I think it might close up through some of these tighter turns here. Jack Mitchell, of course, this is a very fantastic showing from that one team so far this season. Mitchell coming into this race second in the points. He had a very good showing. We won the pole at Auto Club, but couldn't really hold off the 45 of Anthony Foss. Anthony Foss had a great race that day, but Jack Mitchell, like I said earlier, when at the time of that race, he would take that second place finish, and it's propelled him now into this battle for the points lead with Wyatt dueling, and Mitchell's coming to pit road.
And
as is Crown Jr.
Yeah, Roberto Crown Jr. So I guess it's a good thing that we focused on those 2 cars because they're the first 2 down pit road here. See if we have any more takers, but right now, oh yeah, Blake Garcia, Dave Smith, whole lot of cars coming down pit road. This will definitely shake up the field here early on.
I mean, yeah, it just all comes back to pit strategy, like we were talking in the pre-race. It's all about pit stop timing.
Oh, contact there on pit road. The 87 had trouble getting into his stall, and he ran into his teammate while he was in his pit box. That could hurt the 1 car. We'll see what happens coming off of pit road here.
Mitchell able to maintain his lead. Crown Jr. off quickly. McKinney able to gain a whole number of spots there. Anderson with a magnificent...
Oh my goodness. Andrew Anderson, the 3rd car off of pit road, as we have some tight battles off pit road. I want to keep an eye on this little group of cars here as they're 2 wide leaving pit road here. Anas Narager, Wes Hayes, Bryce Mann, the Daytona 500 winner. Connor Hudson was involved in that, so is Ryan New.
Looks like the 97 car hasn't pitted.
Yeah, I think we had about a third of the cars not pit this time by. We'll have to see when they manage to cycle out.
Absolutely, as you can see there. I think these 3 are some that didn't pit.
Yeah, J Mac, Shazane Rana, and Chase Parent.
There's looking at Alexander Schumacher. Then Fiore. Thomas Johnson was the leader. He inherited the race lead. At least I think he did. After cars did not come to pit road.
So, and he and the rest should be coming to pit road.
Yeah, okay, so these are the race leaders right here.
One thing we should note, before Mitchell came to pit road, he had just run his fastest lap of the race.
Absolutely.
On lap 4.
But Andrew Anderson currently being scored with the fastest lap of the race overall. It's a pretty tight one, a 2:08.3 and a 2:08.8. And of course, the fastest lap of the race is important, as here come these cars down pit road. Yeah, the fastest lap of the race, that's going to be a bonus point at the end of this one. So we'll keep an eye on the 07. See where the other cars come out in relation. This may or may not be the only pit stop of the race. Dave Smith's right behind him, and there you can see those other cars. Alexander Schumacher, Ben Fior coming into pit road as well.
With the way these guys are racing, I don't think these will be the only stops. I think we'll see 2 to 3 stops this race.
Yeah, so pit strategy definitely will be a factor in this one.
So we'll see that. We'll see if because it's looking like if they're pitting that 5 laps.
Oh, more
6
contact
laps
on
in
pit
the-
road. I just saw back there on the top of the screen. You guys probably couldn't see it behind the ticker, but the 27 of Chase Parent bumped into the 04.
Let's take a look at the leaders, because it looks like we got a race for the lead possibly shaping up here.
Yeah, we could. Here comes Jack Mitchell. Flying him up that hill. Oh, could he make contact? Yeah, he bumps into the 07. I think that could be for the race lead, as Mitchell was the on-track leader, but the 07 beat him off of pit road back onto the track. But the one had a whole lot more speed, and this battle through the S's could get a whole lot more tight. Jack
Watching
Mitchell.
this, Freebird is playing in my head. Mitchell to the inside, into his door, side by side.
The 07 is going to
Making the
have
right-hander.
the better run through that right-hander, but now we get into this left turn, and the one has the inside. The
Mitchell's got the
07
advantage.
sends it into the grass. He's going to hold on to the race lead, whatever it takes. Man, Blake Garcia putting on a show here so far.
Man, what a race we are looking at. Blake Garcia, a South Texas native. This is his home track.
He's doing a great job holding this one car off.
I believe, yes, this is, in fact, the battle for the lead. Andrew Anderson managed to hang on in 5th after a fantastic pit call. Fantastic pit stop by his pit crew. They got him out quickly.
That's
He
about
might
all you
be
can ask
sticking his
for.
neck out to the end of this thing.
Oh, more
hard
contact. The one is shoving it right now. The back of the 07. Jack Mitchell hungry
Mitchell
right
is-
now to try and grab back the race lead. He's going to have the preferred line through this corner here, but then the 07 is
one
going
car
to get the preferred
slam into
line.
the leader at COTA. Reminds me a whole lot of Ross Chastain. We'll have to see if he manages to take out 2 cars at once, just like Ross did.
Yeah, that's exactly how Ross Chastain, same car number 2. That's how Ross Chastain won his first career race at Circuit of the Americas. Jack Mitchell is going to take the race lead away from Blake Garcia. Great battle there between those 2 cars. Hell of an effort by that
Anderson
07 too.
Trying to get around the number 15 car back there.
Yeah, keep an
As
eye
Crown-
on Roberto.
Crown Jr., I think, ran into the back of the 07. 07 is now slow.
Yeah, that 07 car bumping around between these cars that were the race leaders. The 07 did a good job getting off of pit road and maintaining the lead ahead of them, but Jack
Anderson
Mitchell
all the way on
took
the
the lead.
inside. He's going to try and look for second place here in turn 1.
Look at this little battle of cars here.
Anderson all the way to the inside.
Oh,
and
nearly
yes,
3 wide going up
side
the
by
hill.
Side for second place. Man, Garcia swung it all the way on exit. Crown Jr. to the inside on this corner of Anderson as they go through the S's here.
Look at this shot of these
At
cars
Circuit of
going through the S's.
David Smith next to Crown Jr. Ooh, Crown Jr. might have gone out of bounds there. I think he barely kept it in.
Not too sure what happened there, but it looks like he's letting the position. He's giving up the position to Dave Smith.
Might have fly spotted his tires.
Maybe that can happen at this track.
And the way these guys are running, it's no wonder how they're going through their tires in 4 laps. They're sliding the whole lap.
Yeah, you see how much they were sliding around through in that one shot through the S's, but then also in this corner as well, they slide off the track a little bit, off the racing surface. They kind of get into the dirt a little bit too, so.
Man, that's the beauty of road course racing, guys.
Absolutely.
Never know what could happen.
Yeah, we've had a lot of. I'm a bit surprised. We've had a lot of tight battles for the lead here, and it couldn't be over just yet. But right now, Jack Mitchell definitely pulling away with the race lead. But Blake Garcia hasn't really gone anywhere just yet. Like I said, I think it just comes down to whether or not the leader makes mistakes. Mitchell's got the clean air advantage. Can he hold on through it?
Even
Looks like we
though-
still have a battle for 3rd.
Yeah, we do.
Well, as I was saying, even though Jack Mitchell, he's got first place, he still has that pressure from Blake Garcia coming in from behind. You know, You got to make sure that you keep your head down, keep pushing forward, and you keep your position.
Absolutely.
And if we're pitting every 5 laps, we've only got a couple more laps until we're going to see these cars on pit road again. As Crown Jr. with a good run into the last corner of the racetrack, he's going to look on the inside of Andrew Anderson going into turn number 1. He's got a strong draft down the front straightaway. Is he going to dive down beneath him?
We'll go on board with Roberto Crown Jr. for this lap. I think this is the race, the good race that we were talking about that team needed. This team is right now 71 points behind the race leader, or behind the points leader, Wyatt Dooling. This team has just not had any luck all season whatsoever. Look at how much, you can get a sense of how much these cars are sliding through the S's here. But yeah, like I said, Roberto Crown Jr. needing these good runs at this point in the year because they were the last car to finish on track at Daytona, and then 2 really abysmal finishes at Auto Club in Rockingham. So the road course can sometimes be the great equalizer here.
And he is the only driver in the series who still has single-digit points with 9 points. The next car in front of him, Brody Kufsky, has 15.
Look at how much he has to wiggle that car, trying to stay in line with the 31 of Andrew Anderson.
I smell a couple of pit stops coming, guys. How about you guys?
Oh yeah, I can smell the Sunoco race fuel getting ready to be thrown into these race cars.
Yeah, we'll see when that happens, if they do pit every 5 laps. Like I said, that's going to be our great equalizer here at the road course.
Inside of Anderson.
Looking to the inside, he's going to have the preferred line through this corner. He's going to have the... yeah, I think he did complete the pass. Can't quite see the 31 car from here, but looked like he was able to take that last corner with relative ease. So I think we are going to put Roberto Crown Jr. in 3rd position, ahead of Andrew Henderson, but behind Blake Garcia. The top 2 have sort of pulled away here.
Yeah, let's take another look back at the TV cameras.
Oh, David Smith going around him.
Smith goes to the outside.
Whoa.
This car is not heading down pit road just yet, but David Smith took a nice line in that corner, and he's going to take 3rd away. There's PJ Payne down pit road.
PJ Payne on pit road.
We'll keep an eye on the leaders for now. Just trying to remember that PJ Payne was the first guy to come down pit road, but we'll see when Jack Mitchell makes his pit stop.
I think we'll see them all coming in next time by, because all these lap times have dropped off immensely.
Yeah, Nicholas Michelini's on pit road as well. Oh, Felipe Henriquez has major damage. What happened to that car? The 97 is all torn up.
Whoa.
What in the world went on there? I think we're going to have to...
That car is totaled.
We might have to look back at
Yeah, I think we're going to have to take a break here and go back and look at the replay. Let's go ahead and do that. We'll be right back. The coconuts are migrating.
Not a real man unless you get up at 4 in the morning, 1 and 2 in the morning, go to work and work 70,000 hours.
I want you guys to think with your underdeveloped frontal lobe for a second.
War Thunder players do not have the object permanence of a shrimp.
The Flag Time Podcast, the automotive service podcast where we talk a lot about not that. Audio episodes out on Spotify, Apple, and Amazon Music. Video episodes exclusively on Patreon.
We had to go all the way back to the 2nd lap of the race to find out what happened with the 97. Something happened with the 93 of Kevin Campbell, and then Felipe Henriquez just completely rear-ended him, and they ended up having to tear that off of the car when they went on the pit road. So it looked like it was an issue with the 93 of Kevin Campbell. So that's what happened there. Definitely an interesting incident so far.
We'll be right back as we go back live.
Think you got what it takes to conquer the Devil's Dozen Wing Challenge? 12 wings smothered in our hottest sauce yet, all in under 8 minutes. But we all know Connor won't try it. Not because of the heat, but because, well...
It's crazy. I mean, who eats wings without sauce? That's ridiculous.
Whatever your style, Sliders has you covered.
Back live here at Circuit of the Americas, Jack Mitchell, the only car down pit road. As you can see, a handful of other cars making their way up the track, up the hill here. I'm not too sure who else. I think the one car just might have gone in by himself, as right now Blake Garcia being scored the leader. Definitely a lot of action here all over the place. It's a really large spread out track. It's kind of hard to keep track of everything going on at once, so forgive us if we miss a few things here and there. Blake Garcia currently the leader, but we'll see how things cycle out.
Now with that 97 car out of the race, it's definitely going to shake up the point standings for Speech Performance. Hopefully we'll see a good performance from the 82 car, his teammate Eric Braxton, and be able to bring the team up in those point standings. Back to you, Jack.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that team. Obviously, Speech Performance getting a big boost with that win this season. So there's Blake Garcia way in front. Nick Michelini has been on pit road for the last few laps. He's currently scored 2 laps down right now. There's a look at Kevin Campbell. We saw during the replay he suffered some kind of incident with that car. Maybe it was something mechanical. I'm not too sure what happened with that 93.
I think he got booted out and spun around and then got hit from behind.
But we saw during the replay too, he just slowed down out of nowhere, so not too sure what went on with that team. Just trying to see where everybody's being scored right now. That field definitely got jumbled up during that last pit stop cycle. There's a nice little pack of cars here. Bryce Mann, the Daytona 500 winner, at the back of it. Alexander Schumacher behind Hannes Neureger.
To the inside of Hannes Neureger.
And it looks like they're going to complete the pass around the outside. You see those cars love to use the
coming to pit
apron
road?
on that.
Yes, he is.
Corner.
Everyone
Yeah.
is.
All those cars coming to pit road. There's your points leader, Wyatt Dueling. I wonder if the 07 came down pit road. Did he do that already, though? I'm not too sure what happened with those cars that were battling for the lead at first. Whole lot of cars down pit road here. Andrew Anderson. Contact there between the 3 and the 51 on pit road.
See who can have a fast pit stop and gain some track position.
Oh, we have some contact on pit road, too, as well. The 45. All kinds of contact on pit road in this race. Definitely want to keep an eye on these battles off pit road. I think Jack Mitchell had the key strategy here. He was the first car of those leaders on the pit road, and he just basically beat just about everybody except for the 87. So I think this race is going to come down to whether or not the 1 can catch the 07.
One thing I wanted to know is, are all the pit flaggers having a meeting at the end of pit road there?
Certainly looked like it.
It's like somebody threw a pizza party, you know?
Hey, pizza parties can go pretty well here at a track like this. Is Andrew Anderson trying to get inside the 8 of PJ Payne?
Barely keeps it in bounds through the S's as he looks to the inside, but isn't even close. Payne with an amazing drive off, and Ben Fiore on the inside, now outside of 31 car of Anderson.
Let's see if we can find our driver who's currently sitting at the chase cut line. That's Connor Hudson in the 49 car. Looks like he just made some contact through the grass. Connor Hudson currently sitting 12th in the point standings right now. He has 54 total points and a tie with Blaze McKinney. Hudson might have a tiebreaker too, though, but I think that tie will be broken for sure. Go after this one is done, because Blaze McKinney started on the pole and he led a lap, so leading at least that 1 lap is going to get you a bonus point.
Now, is that
Starting to get far enough into the season where any points ties are actually able to get broken. We had almost the entire field was tied with someone for the first couple of races.
Oh, we had a car go off there for a second. I think it was just some kind of background scenery or something. There's a look at Wyatt Dueling, the points leader, trying to battle with Bryce Mann. Bryce Mann currently 6th in the point standings after winning the Daytona 500. Obviously, you can't ask for a better start to the season than that. We had a 3-wide finish for the win in Daytona.
Now, going back to Connor Hudson, you guys notice a little damage on his front end? It looks like he might have gotten into bumping uglies with somebody in front of him.
I did not see any damage on the front. of that car. But they were also down pit road too, so they might have had an opportunity to fix it. I was also wrong with what happened on pit road, as the one car... Oh, no, I was not wrong. It took the ticker a second to figure itself out there, but the one car just... The ticker sorted itself out. The one is currently being scored in second place. And that battle for the lead, that gap has actually gotten pretty tight. These leaders have a huge gap on the rest of the field. I think it is going to come down to these two cars, which one is faster. Or if maybe they need to end up coming down pit road one more time in this one. I think that could also be a factor. But Blake Garcia...
We're definitely going to be seeing one more round of pit stops for sure.
Yeah, that's going to make it really interesting here. I know we don't want to spend the whole race focused on the leaders while they have a big gap. There's a look at Nick Michelini. He's back running right now. That 52 car is on track, but they were stuck on pit road for quite a while in this one, so not too sure what happened to that 52 car. Yeah, you can see how far back they are. All those cars are going up the hill behind them. Kevin Campbell, not a great day for that team as well. These are more of the back markers. Brody Kupski, not what that team needed at all. Right now, he's currently being scored in 18th place, or not 18th place, sorry, I can't read. 25th place, second to last in points. What a rough start to the year for that 20 team as well.
Exactly right, Jack. But positions are going to shuffle just a little bit here in a few laps whenever these cars come back down to pit road. We'll have to see if anyone's able to have a first round pit stop like Andrew Anderson's and leapfrog a number of cars.
Yeah, Andrew Anderson and Jack Mitchell, I feel like, were the two drivers that have nailed it so far on these two cycles of pit stops. But this third one, this is the money stop right here. If they do come down pit road one more time, which we expect them to do, that's going to play a role in determining the finish of this race. Because right now, it's the one chasing down the 07. At least that's last we checked. Roberto Crown Jr. has dropped down to 6th place. Oh, the one car has closed up the gap significantly. They go up the hill. Go ahead, Felipe.
Now, one thing I noticed on this track is that the overcut seems to be doing better than the undercut. I'm noticing that the drivers who pit before the remainder of the pack tend to fall behind in position, and then the people who wait till a lap after seem to be getting better track position. In this case, Jack Mitchell, he definitely he went in before Nick Michelini did, or after Nick Michelini did. And it seems to that's been paying off for both Blake Garcia and Jack Mitchell.
Yeah, the Blake Garcia, I believe, was on pit road after the one, but I think Mitchell still was able to make up the gap a little bit. Thomas Johnson's made up the gap as well right now. Currently scored 3rd. Good run for that 51 team. They certainly need it. I believe he had the pole, too, during the race at Rockingham, so good momentum for that team.
And you got the 15 car trying to catch up to him. It's catching up pretty quickly.
Yeah, Dave Smith doing a good job, too, in that 15. Again, that's a team that really needs it. Dave Smith, 26th in the points. We were just talking about Thomas Johnson, looking for him in points right now. He's currently 8th. So that means he would be the last driver. If the chase were to start after this race, he would be the last driver above the cut line going into the second round. 97 is currently now being scored 3 laps down, so I think maybe he came down pit road a 3rd time. And Jack Mitchell has caught up to Blake Garcia. He's going to go way around the outside again. A lot of drivers love making that move. And Jack Mitchell...
Garcia is going to have the preferred corner off of turn number 20. Is he able to stay side by side with him going up into turn number 1 as they take lap number 15?
No, he is not. Jack Mitchell flies right by Blake Garcia. He's going to take back the race lead. Great showing for that team today. But is it going to be enough? Are they going to have to come down pit road one more time?
Absolutely will, and we'll have to see if they're able to hold on to their positions when they come.
Look,
we got one car on pit road right now. That's Eric Braxton.
Not too sure yet if that was a scheduled pit stop or not from Eric Braxton, but we'll have to keep an eye out for that, because if that was a scheduled pit stop, That means these guys definitely will be making one more trip down pit road.
I'm expecting to see him duck down this time by. As Garcia trying everything he's got, but I think his tires are absolutely gone. He's definitely going to need to come in and pit.
I think that's the thing that you
see
need.
If Mitchell comes in as well.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that you need to keep in mind is going around this track is that when you're the race leader, you have to be doing all the work right now. You're the one that's using up all your fuel, you're using up all your tires because you have to be doing the work and holding on to the race lead. And that's what Blake Garcia had to do for those last several laps. Jack Mitchell did a pretty good job of waiting and being patient and picking his moment. I'm going to keep an eye on him this time by, see if he comes down pit road.
And it's just that added pressure from having the driver behind you, you know, it sits in the back of your mind and you're just, you know, you're trying to get away from it. And it just adds another level of distraction from you being able to drive clean.
Absolutely. That's something that
Scrubbing
definitely...
the tires into the corner will hurt you big time on these longer runs, as we haven't had a single caution today here at Circuit of the Americas.
No cautions, but certainly a lot of wrecks. Or a few cars.
Well, that's road
damaged.
course racing.
Yeah, it sounds like exactly like road course racing here as they make their way around this turn.
Are they pitting
Jack
this time?
Mitchell
Yes,
is coming
they
down
are.
pit
Here
road.
come Jack Mitchell
So is
and
Blake Garcia. So
Right.
Thomas Johnson's going to be the race leader for the time being. Dave Smith down pit road as well. There's PJ Payne. And you can see the 51 car flying down the front stretch. This is your money stop.
Next time by.
Roberto Crown Jr. stays out.
That might be the thing that ends their race.
Jack Mitchell having the advantage of the second pit stall. All of these three guys actually up front here have good pit stalls. Looks like these are the only three down pit road here is... Oh, the 8... Yeah, PJ Payne went down pit road. Landon Mills. J Mack was there. Ben Fior went down pit road.
We had about half the field come down this time by, so next time by we'll be seeing who else comes down.
Jack Mitchell got way ahead of the 07 on pit road, but let's go ahead and find the 51 car of Thomas Johnson now. Nobody really near him, so I think that 51, he was one of the few cars that stayed out, so he's going to have to come down pit road. Roberto Crown Jr. behind him, he also needs to come down pit road, as does Alexander Schumacher. I think Wes Hayes might as well, so same thing with Andrew Anderson. Maybe Blaise McKinney as well. Has not been the greatest day for Blaise McKinney. We haven't really talked about him too much after starting on the pole.
So from the looks of it, if those top 5 are going in for pits, car number 11 might be the race leader.
Yeah, that's Wes Hayes.
It's like Schumacher in front of Hayes. I'm pretty sure they're on the same lap as each other. So Schumacher currently holding point. We'll have to see if he comes into pit with Hayes following suit. As Hayes is on his bumper going into these corners, we'll have to see if he gets aggressive or if he just stays conservative and makes it to pit road without any incidents. Anderson behind them. We've seen an absolutely fantastic showing, especially for a road course. Yes, Hayes looks to the inside and sends it.
Sent it up,
He's
sends it up the inside
of this corner.
Oh, we got contact.
Oh, I think he might have made a little bit of contact. He goes way around the outside. We've seen these cars make that move all day. Neither of them go down pit road. Roberto Crown Jr. went down pit road, but both Wes Hayes and Alexander Schumacher are staying out. Andrew Anderson's down pit road. Thomas Johnson's down pit road. So I believe that should give the lead to the 1 car, assuming he's still ahead of the 07. Let's try and find where those cars are on the track right now.
Now, do you think those two ran out of tires, or they're just trying to extend their stint?
Maybe they were trying to push it for as long as they can, because now they know here come the leaders flying down the front stretch. All those guys still stuck in their box, so this is going to be it right here. Can Jack Mitchell get off of pit road ahead of most of these drivers? He gets off ahead of the 21. I think the 21 was the first car down pit road. Or Thomas oh, wow. Thomas Johnson, the 51, way ahead of him. What a pit stop from that 51 team.
Johnson's going to have cold tires. We're going to have to see if he's able to actually maintain the lead.
He's definitely going to have to get some heat in them. Now he's going to end up in the grass, and then he's going to lose crucial seconds in those corners, guys.
Right, because we've been seeing that it takes a couple of laps to get these tires all the way up to temp.
Look, you can already
lose
see
a lot of time after you come off of pit road.
You can already see Jack Mitchell's gaining on that car. Every shot that we see, every camera shot that we see, he's getting closer and closer. I think it's
He's got
just
a
going to be
long ways to go. He's only got a couple of laps to do it.
not
If
the
Johnson
greatest
is able
corner
to
in the
get his
world.
tires hot. Johnson's able to get his tires all the way up to temp. He's gonna start to pull away.
Yeah, I think this is probably going to be a chase down at this point. And the 51's gap is massive.
Is that race ticker correct? Is it showing the number 11 cars in first place?
It refreshes one time a lap.
All right.
Yeah, it's going to take a second to get up to speed.
Yeah, no, it's a great showing from the 51 car. He's definitely taking clean lines through those corners. He's coming up on turn 20 right now.
That
Brilliant pit stop by the 51 team. That they might have won him the race as we come to 3 laps to go next time they come by the line.
I think Jack Mitchell's now under fire from, well, not quite from Blake Garcia. Blake Garcia's been running a pretty solid race, though. Just hasn't quite had the stuff to catch up to that one car. But they go through the last final corners, and yeah, just great stuff from that 51 team. That pit stop, like you said, Kevin, it might have won them the race, as the gap is just bigger and bigger. More cars down pit road, though. So I think those cars were being scored the leader for the time being. Let's see what happens here.
That's a beautiful line by the 51.
I think Hayes was still scored the leader because I think he was on pit road, wasn't he?
I believe so. But Thomas Johnson should be the true leader right now.
With about a 2.5 second lead. And only has to hang on to it for 3 laps. He might have this in the bag, pending he doesn't make any big mistakes.
He's just got to keep his head on his shoulders and keep his head down and push.
Exactly right. And Mitchell is in absolute go mode. He has to do everything he can possibly do to cut any edges off of these corners and shave any time off of these laps. But it's probably not going to be enough, as down the back straightaway, Johnson with a very clean corner, and he's hauling. Jack?
Yeah, absolutely. That 51 team is that was the money stop. Like we said earlier, the one car was about to take the lead going down the front straightaway. He was about to take the lead away from the 51 on pit road, but and he passed just about everybody else that he needed to pass on pit road. So the overcut, like you mentioned earlier, Felipe, that was working out in his favor, but I don't think he accounted for that 51 team just flying off of pit road and being way ahead of everybody. And I think by the time the 51 car was on the track and off of pit road, it was too late for anyone to do anything.
You know what they say? Practice makes perfect. And looks like the 51 team's been practicing their pit stops.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Flyer stop. I'd love to figure out what time they pulled off on pit road, as he's coming in through turn 20, going to come to 2 laps to go. I'll have to figure out what the new delta is between him and Jack Mitchell.
Andrew Anderson is currently still with the fastest lap. We'll get a quick check-in on that, as that's, again, bonus point on the line for that one. Let's see how the ticker changes things up. And yeah, right now, Thomas Johnson being scored the race leader. 4-second gap over Jack Mitchell. I think that's all she wrote, boys. You never know. Something could happen on the final 2 laps of this race, but you see how big that gap has gotten.
It's over, but he is setting a flyer lap right now. You can see how sideways he is through the S's.
Why don't we take a look at the mid-pack, see how they're doing, guys?
Absolutely, yeah. David Smith having a good showing. Wes Hayes is going to get a good finish out of this one. So is Ben Fior. Ben Fior, of course, hurt earlier in the season by a DNF. The only driver to not finish the Daytona 500, so that'll be good. A good boost for him. There's a look at PJ Payne, Andrew Anderson, man of the hour here at COTA.
Now, is the 97 car still in the race, or did he retire?
He's currently being scored 7 laps down, so I believe he is done for the day. If I can't find him, if the cameras cannot pick him up here on this last cycle here, then he's probably done.
go back to the
Cameras
let's go back
did
Yeah, I
not pick
believe
him up.
He's out of the race for sure. Unfortunate.
Tough scenes for that
number
team.
97. Big
Fourth in the
performance
point standings,
team.
so they will probably lose positioning as we continue on. But Thomas Johnson is currently, I believe, heading into the last few corners of this track. And he is going to see the white flag. Not quite here.
Now we got a little ways. As he gets way hung out to the outside, those tires already look like they're starting to get worn out.
It looks
Yeah,
like Jack Mitchell's starting to catch up to him.
Yeah, the
This
pit
might be
stop
an
cycles
interesting
were
finish.
only for 5 laps. He's not coming down pit road here. Yeah, now we're heading into the final corner as the 51 of Thomas Johnson will see the white flag. 1 lap to go here at Circuit of the Americas.
Might have a race for second as Garcia has caught the 1 car of Jack Mitchell. Well, on exit he had caught him at least.
I think the camera angle might have played tricks on you there, Kevin. There's
Let's see corner positioning.
decent enough gap right now between those 2 cars.
Let's focus back on them and take a look at them.
Yeah, Jack Mitchell has
Garcia might have something for him. Have to see if we have a race for second here.
He's definitely getting a good run through the S's. You know, he definitely has a chance to take second from Jack Mitchell. Jack just has to, you know, he just needs to keep his head down and keep pushing.
Absolutely. It's going to be a little bit brutal for that one team, though. Again, this is going to be his second time finishing in second this season, which obviously that's not a bad thing, but, you know, he was pretty close to beating Anthony Foss at Auto Club earlier in the season, but he couldn't quite make it work, and now it looks like he's going to come up just short, but through no fault of his own or anything like that. It was just a 51 team with an absolutely perfect strategy on pit road.
You know
Off of the back straightaway for the last time. Sorry, go ahead.
You know, as the late great Dale Earnhardt said, if you ain't first, you last. So all eyes are right now on the 51 car. Definitely putting out a good show there. We'll see how this shapes up for the point standings when it comes to the chase.
Absolutely.
Exactly right, and he's on the last third of the track. This race is almost done for that number 51 of Thomas Johnson. He's done a fantastic job this season so far. He sat on the pole for duel number 1 at Daytona. And also sat on the pole for
Rockingham, I believe.
Daytona.
Well, I'm not too sure, but he's coming out around the final corner, and just a great pit stop, proving to be the winning factor in this one. To the checkered flag, Thomas Johnson in the 51 car is your winner at Circuit of the Americas, and we get a look behind them.
Last week's pole winner, Thomas Johnson.
Jack Mitchell will bring it home in second, followed by Blake Garcia in third. Dave Smith a much-needed 4th place, and Wes Hayes in 5th to round out the top 5.
Now that was a masterclass coming from the 51 car. Definitely had all of his ducks in a row. Definitely showed that he knows these road courses like the back of his hand.
Yeah, I'm sure that team will be very, very pleased with that performance out of the 51 car. Thomas Johnson 8th in the point standings. Let's go ahead and verify the fastest lap did indeed belong to the 31 of Andrew Anderson, a 2:08.331. Great stuff. Good consolation prize for that 31 team. And
what a gracious send-off for the 31 car, and you know, it being his last race of the season and him being able to get the fastest lap is definitely the cherry on top for him.
Absolutely.
He'll still be running in the series. He'll just be receiving his results by letter at boot camp that he'll be reading on Mondays, getting yelled at by drill sergeants. So that'll be fun for him.
Okay, and that's not too far away from your future either, so.
Well, we'll see.
Indeed. I think some consolation for the one team as well, though, is that they came into this race second in points. Wyatt Dueling, the points leader, finished all the way back in 23rd position. So Jack Mitchell probably, more than likely, should come out of this race as your new points leader. So, good boost for that team to finish second twice, but obviously finishing second twice means you came up just short of the win twice, so couple of hurt
But
feelings.
consistency can win championships. We'll have to see
That it can. We know that too well.
If Jack Mitchell's able to hang on to that consistency all the way through the regular season, he's got a solid shot at winning this championship because you don't have to win to advance.
Yeah, we know that too well. Obviously, wins will help. They'll be a big boost, especially if you're high up in the point standings, but it's not winning you're in. You have to stay inside the top 12 to make the chase. Thomas Johnson finally going to bring this thing on the pit road and celebrate with his team.
And at the end of the day, it's all about consistency. You know, you got to make sure you're putting those consistent lap times down. You know, you're keeping the racing clean. You know, rubbing is racing, but definitely the cleaner it is, the better of a chance you have at making good points and being able to get into the chase.
Absolutely. So the cars finally making their way down pit road. Let's go ahead and take a look at your finishing results. All right, your finishing results here in the Dr. Pepper Texas Grand Prix. Thomas Johnson, your race winner by 5 seconds over Jack Mitchell. And it's Blake Garcia, David Smith, Wes Hayes, Ben Fiore, Andrew Anderson, PJ Payne, Roberto Crown Jr. inside the top 10, followed by last race's winner, Eric Braxton. That rounds out your top 10. Next up, it's Alexander Schumacher, Bryce Mann, Ryan New, J Mack, Blaze McKinney, Landon Mills, Chase Parent, Hannes Naranger, and Connor Hudson inside the top 20. And then the back 10, it's Anthony Foss, Henry Tabor, Wyatt Dooling, points leader coming into this race. He should take a dip in this. His points total should take a little bit of a hit here in this one. And it's Cole Wilton, Connor DaCosta, Shazan Rana, Brody Kupski, Kevin Campbell, Nick Michelini, and Felipe Henriquez. It's a clutch issue being diagnosed for that team. That's why that car ended up retiring. We saw the damage to it earlier in the race. Only car to DNF in this one. Here's a look at your updated point standings. As predicted, Jack Mitchell jumps up to the points lead, 105 points, 4 points to the good of Wes Hayes, who now jumps into second place. Then it's Thomas Johnson in third, as Wyatt Dooling takes a big fall from first down to fourth. Again, not in too much danger here. You just need to make sure you stay inside the top 12 at the end of the regular season, but he's definitely lost some ground he's going to have to make up. Bryce Mann now up to fifth. You've got Blake Garcia, Chase Parent, Alexander Schumacher, Felipe Henriquez down to ninth place after that crash earlier in this race. Definitely hurt his point standings. He falls from fourth down to ninth, and then Blaze McKinney, the pole sitter for the day, winds up in 10th in the point standings. Following that, it's Eric Braxton, Anthony Foss, Andrew Anderson, Landon Mills, Connor Hudson, Cole Wilton down to 16th. Then it's Ryan New, Hannes Naranger, and J Mack to round out the top 20. The MAC 10 is PJ Payne, Henry Tabor, David Smith, Ben Fiore, Nick Michelini, Reese Kupski, Kevin Campbell, Shazan Rana, Roberto Crown Jr. now jumping up a little bit. He was last place, now he's in 28th. And then Connor DaCosta, and another rough go of it for Brody Kupski. He now drops all the way to the back. Again, these drivers here that we just named, they're going to have some work to do here as we're now over a quarter of the way into the regular season. Not a whole lot of time to make up some lost ground. Only 2 races left before the All-Star break. Whole lot can change still. We'll see how it all shakes out. All right, gentlemen. So that is just about it from Circuit of the Americas. Any final thoughts before we close this thing out?
It's been an awesome season so far. Thank you to all the viewers, drivers, fans, everyone. Y'all are the ones who have made this possible, made this so much fun to do. It's been an absolute blast hosting the ASRA NBC Cup Series, and we're really excited as the season rolls on. Next week, we've got Homestead Miami with an NHL-themed race. I couldn't thank y'all enough for the support. Thank y'all.
Yeah, absolutely. I really can't thank you guys enough either for the support. This has definitely been a very long project. It's been a few years in the works, but although I know we've all had all those times when we've said that, yeah, we're going to get this going, we're going to go soon, and then it just doesn't happen. But here we are, 4 races in, just over a quarter of the way through our regular season. We've got 2 races left. Again, like you mentioned, Kevin, Homestead Miami Speedway, and then Armory Digital Super Speedway to close out the first half of the regular season before we head to the All-Star break. And of course, Homestead's going to be pretty interesting too, because that's scheduled to be our first day to night race of the season. So 2 different environments at that oval. So, Felipe, any final thoughts here before we close this one out?
Definitely, it was a great showing from everyone out there. The season is definitely showing up to be quite an interesting one. The point standings definitely are shaken up a little bit based on the way everything finished. Judging that, the next race is going to be in Miami. Pack an umbrella just in case, because you never know how the weather's going to be down there. Hopefully it stays dry, but we're looking at a good showing over there. Homestead's a really, really fast track, and we'll see how the drivers cope with the pavement out there.
Yeah, really fast, really fun, really exciting. And of course, before we wrap this one up, we just want to give one final shout out to Andrew Anderson. Again, like we said at the beginning of it, we wish you all the best in your career. Congratulations. And we look forward to seeing what happens out of that. So shout out to you, buddy.
And also, make sure you know your general orders. They will yell at you for it. I have to remind you again.
They're going to yell at you for just about everything in boot camp, but there you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for this broadcast. If you liked the video, please give it a like, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the ASRA channel, and follow us on social media at ASRA Sim Racing on Instagram and on X. Of course, you can also join our Discord to stay informed, get the latest updates as they happen. The link will be in the description below. That is going to do it, though, for this one. We will see you next time, coming to you from Homestead Miami Speedway. See you then. Thank you for watching this presentation of the Adrenaline Sim Racing Association.